Today on the Gold Standard.
Now these banks say, well, we can still get very aggressive. We can still do a lot of creative things with our money because the government's going to bail us out. That's a very dangerous precedent. So if it's up to me, I can't take that risk. I have to create my own situation. I have to create my own gold vault. I have to create my own retirement survival kit. I have to create my own gold standard.
This is the Gold Standard from Midas Gold Group with Kenneth Russo. Hello, I'm Dave Deno. Welcome to the Gold Standard, your source for secure investment opinion and information on the advantages of purchasing and owning precious metals. Whether you're a novice investor or an experienced collector, this is the program that gives you a realistic weekly perspective on the state of the economy, reliable information about using precious metals such as gold, silver, and platinum to safeguard your wealth, and remarkable details about specific precious metal coins and bullion. Ken Russo is a senior vice president at Midas Gold Group, and his peers characterize him as a straight shooter who will work harder for you than anyone else. Ken, as always, it is a pleasure to join you again this week.
Nice to be with you as always, Dave.
Our topic today is how to survive the banking meltdown. And Ken, I'm wondering, where do we begin? There are so many worrisome headlines appearing on a daily basis. The one I'm looking at this morning says, economy is in the tank, banks are reeling, inflation is sky high, and there's more that Biden isn't telling you. We have bank failures, we have bank prop-ups from bigger banks, major Wall Street declines are affecting retirement investments. That's the money that many seniors are depending upon for their living expenses. And our government officials were caught completely unawares, and they are now trying to assure the public that everything is all right. Ken, is everything all right?
No, Dave, absolutely not. But everybody who listens or who has been listening to us for years, is kind of understanding what is going on. We've been telling people for years that you can't have a safe system that's supported by fake printed money. And everything you just said, Dave, is a fact. There's nothing that you just said that is opinion. There's nothing that you just said that is a controversial sort of thing. It's not conspiracy theory. It's a fact. This whole system, as we know it, is being torn down. And it's the death of money, basically, Dave. We're seeing the domino effect of the Fed raising interest rates while inflation continues at a record pace. So that's undermining every financial sector of our economy. Remember, when they fought inflation back in the 70s, Dave, they didn't have hundreds of trillions of dollars of debt to deal with. This is a very, very different time, and it's going to come to a head. And the current bank situation, the current bank crisis, is just a hint of how wrong this is going to go. Okay, it's just the first sign of some serious troubles ahead. Dave, if you fix the deck chairs on the Titanic, to make the deck look nice, it doesn't matter. It's the crash was still inevitable. Okay, so like we've been talking about for a long time, the bond situation. Let's talk about that briefly.
Yeah, let me ask you a question on that, because this is one I'm very curious. Because financial experts, Ken, they have told us for years that bonds are a safe, reliable, conservative investment. But this week, we've got news about Credit Suisse Bank, which had to be bought up by UBS to keep it from collapsing. And the news said that Credit Suisse Bank bonds that totaled $17 billion of invested funds, the bondholders were told that their bonds were now worth zero, zilch, nothing, completely worthless, wiped out. What happened to the safety of bonds?
Yeah, well, why would you even buy a bond, right? I mean, and guarantee you that there was some fancy name attached to these bonds that the money managers or the bankers were pitching to their clients. Another way to generate fees, another fancy asset class. We got to have it. Ooh, wow, that sounds fantastic. Yeah, let's do it. Well, folks, when it's all working, everything is fine and dandy until it's not. And right now, you need to be extremely, extremely careful. I just was watching television and they just said that people are pouring money into US treasuries now and money markets because the bankers and the advisors are telling people and their clients that they should be going after yield. Don't speculate too much more in the stock market. It's too risky. But let's get a guaranteed 3 or 4%. Well, I'll tell you what, folks, the only thing guaranteed in this day and age is that your money is not safe and your money right now is at risk. The accounts that you have are under attack. When these investments are upside down and when people start pulling money out of these brokerage firms or these banks, you're going to see an illiquid situation like we've had over the last couple of weeks. And this is just the start of it, Dave. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much underneath that we've talked about many times that's going to go wrong. So right now, folks, bonds are not safe. What if these other countries like the BRIC nations, and we just wrote an article this week, Dave, the BRIC nations are Brazil, Russia, India, China, and then South Africa was added. Now, these countries own about $1.4 trillion worth of our U.S. treasuries.
Wow.
What if they did a coordinated effort, Dave, to sell all of their debt? Who's going to buy it? Is the Fed just going to print money and buy it and put it on the balance sheet and continue that Ponzi scheme? Situations like this are a direct threat to our financial system. And all of these events are just another reason to tell you that your money is not safe, folks. And it's another reason to tell you that our whole financial system, Dave, is under attack and it can collapse at any time.
A reminder here that you are listening to The Gold Standard with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group, and our topic today is how to survive the banking meltdown. Ken, you have been warning about this financial bubble bursting, this economic house of cards collapsing for more than a year now, and your message has been consistent. Gold and silver offer a hedge of protection against disastrous economic policies. How does that work?
Well, Dave, that's exactly what it is. You got to hedge your bets. And gold is real money. It's always been real money for thousands of years. It's actually the only form of real money. All this fiat stuff is just digits on a ledger. It's just paper. And we all remember those pictures of wheelbarrows full of currency from Zimbabwe and the Weimar Republic and all this stuff. And, that's the road we're headed down, Dave. Our country is headed down the spiral of death. It's a slow death where our dollar is losing its world reserve currency status. And these countries are making it a point to do business outside of the dollar. And no matter how much money they print, Dave, how many names they give these different fancy programs and these different fancy assets to generate fees and to stuff their own pockets, the fact of the matter is our money is not safe. The fact of the matter is that you can't build a sound financial system by printed money and unlimited debt. And I would just encourage people out there to understand that you don't put all of your eggs in any one basket, but I just don't understand. I have a really hard time understanding why more people are not afraid of what's going on. I have a very hard time understanding why someone would not want to diversify their savings or their retirement accounts into something that is tangible, something that they could hold on to, something that's been money for thousands of years, and something that will always have value like gold. I don't understand it, but that's what makes a market. Hopefully people that are listening to us, Dave, hopefully some of them are realizing that this whole financial system is a charade, and hopefully they realize that their money that they've worked hard to save and invest in, hopefully they'll diversify some of it and hedge their bets with physical gold.
So, Ken, I'm going to put you on the spot here. If you had substantial cash in a bank or a lot of your lifelong savings tied up in investments, what would you do right now?
What I would do is I would take 25 to 50% of my paper assets right now out of the banks or out of the stock market, and I would roll it tax-free sideways into gold that I could hold on to and that I could own. So pretty straightforward. It's a little bit more than maybe people have thought about in the past, but the reasoning behind that, Dave, is that things are that much more dangerous. We have that much more risk, which means that we need that much more defense and that much more safety.
We're going to continue our topic, how to survive the banking meltdown, a little bit later in the program, and we'll highlight several tangible ways that you can actually convert your wealth into the security of gold. First, though, a reminder that you are listening to The Gold Standard with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group. And coming up, we're going to look at a specific precious metal that you can use to safeguard your wealth, and that's coming up right after this.
Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank, and now Credit Suisse Bank. With so many cracks showing up in the banking system and over $31 trillion of U.S. debt, is the full faith and credit of the government warranted? Just print more, you say? Argentina, Venezuela, and Zimbabwe all did that, and we know what happened. Defaults happen. But gold has never defaulted. Veteran-owned Midas Gold Group believes we are in the early innings of a systemic banking crisis. The Fed's quantitative tightening with higher interest rates are affecting the money supply. This is your cue to create your own bank with real money, gold. Call Midas Gold Group now, 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. I trust them with my account. You can too. Veteran-owned Midas Gold Group will reinforce your portfolio. Call 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. Midas Gold Group, your vault of confidence.
And we're back with more of The Gold Standard, brought to you by Midas Gold Group with Ken Russo. I'm Dave Deno. Our topic today is how to survive the banking meltdown. By the way, if you live in the Los Angeles or Phoenix area, we encourage you to come and visit us at our local office to meet with us in person. For the address and directions, just log on to our website, MidasGoldGroup.com, M-I-D-A-S, MidasGoldGroup.com. For those of you listening in other cities, call us directly at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. By the numbers 855-322-4653. Now, it's time for our precious metal spotlight of the week. And amidst all of the financial uncertainty, Ken, let's return to a very dependable staple of any gold collection, the gold American Eagle. Tell us about that.
It's a standard. We've spoken about it many times. It's truly, Dave, an impressive work of art. It's a beautiful coin. It's the main coin of the United States. Remember, it's the gold eagle or the gold buffalo. With the gold eagle, it came out in 1986. So there was no gold made from the United States, Dave, from 1933 to 1986 when the gold American Eagle was brought on the scene, and then the buffalo in 2009. There's a type 1 and a type 2 gold eagle, Dave. On the obverse or the head side, both types feature an image of Walking Liberty, Lady Liberty. It's a throwback to another classic American coin, the $20 St. Gaudens. On type 1, Dave, the reverse shows a father eagle returning to its nest where a mother eagle protects her baby eagles. And the American Gold Eagle Type 2 was changed to celebrate the Bullion Coins Program 35th anniversary. That was in 2021, but only on the coin's reverse side. The obverse remained the same. For this new edition, Dave, of the Gold Eagle in 2021, the U.S. Mint chose a full image of the American bald eagle facing forward, a symbol of strength. The attention to detail, Dave, and the accuracy here are very inspiring. The eagle's gaze, Dave, is stoic and unflinching, and it seems aware of everything in its surroundings. It's a 22-karat gold coin. There is a full ounce of gold in it, but there's just a very little bit of silver and a very little bit of copper to give it some durability. And anyone who's looking to protect themselves, Dave, against the banking crisis, anyone who's looking to protect their retirement account from disappearing, anybody who's looking to protect their money from a financial collapse that is inevitable, the gold American 1-ounce Eagle is definitely something, Dave, that people should strongly consider.
And you have these available?
We do. And we had a lot. A lot of them have been allocated to clients, but we do have the ability to order from the Mint. I would also tell people that eventually people are probably going to have to pay 5 or 10 times the price of gold in the future because of what's going to happen. You still have an opportunity right now, Dave, to own some gold American Eagles at a relatively reasonable price. We still have the ability to have them or order them. And like I said before, I don't know what people are waiting for. If you're not listening, folks, then more than likely you're going to see the majority of your money over the next few years disappear. If you are listening, it's an opportunity for you to at least move some of those assets into a product which, no matter what happens with the banking system, you will still have.
Coming up in a moment, we're going to continue our topic of how to survive the banking meltdown with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group, and that's coming up right after this.
2023 is going to be a year of economic upheaval, according to many economists. Sebastian Gorka here. Financial experts are warning of massive layoffs and huge stock market losses, which is why I recommend calling Midas Gold Group to safeguard your wealth with the stability of gold while you can. Gold holds its value when economies fail. Go to MidasGoldGroup.com, or better yet, call 855-322-GOLD. It's gold you can hold. Call 855-322-GOLD.
And we're back with more of the Gold Standard, brought to you by Midas Gold Group with Ken Russo. I'm Dave Deno. Our topic today is how to survive the banking meltdown. And we'll get back to that in just a second. But first, as we have been saying, if you live in the Los Angeles or Phoenix area, you can actually come and visit our local office and meet with us in person, even see some of the product that we talk about here on the air, and it's very impressive. For the address and directions, just log on to our website, MidasGoldGroup.com, MidasGoldGroup.com. And for those of you listening in other cities, call us directly at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD, by the numbers 855-322-4653. Now, let's get back to our topic. So far today, we have talked about the failure of three major banks and the possibility of even more failures, and we've compared that to the historic stability of gold. Ken, I saw a headline today that stated these banks are the most vulnerable, and it listed 5 major banks that are at great risk of going under soon. That's pretty disturbing news.
Yeah, and who else is going to join the list, right, Dave? You can put all the banks on the list, all the brokerage firms, all the mortgage companies, all the insurance companies, all the annuity companies. Make a big list, because they're all based on fake money. They're all based on fiat currency, and they're all based in drowning with debt, and they're leveraged to the gills. So, First Republic, whatever, Huntington, Bankshares, Key Corp, Co-America, Truist Financial, you can just add to the list, just keep going if you'd like. And who knows about other countries too, right, Dave? We're just talking about U.S. banks. What about globally? This is a global problem. So like I said before, the writing's on the wall. There's no easy way out of this. They've been just kicking the can down the road for decades. Nothing's been solved. The only answer to all of this stuff is we can print more. And that's dangerous too, Dave, because now these banks say, well, we can still get very aggressive. We can still do a lot of creative things with our money because the government's going to bail us out. That's a very dangerous precedent. So if it's up to me, I can't take that risk. I have to create my own situation. I have to create my own gold vault. I have to create my own retirement survival kit. I have to create my own gold standard. And that means moving some of my money into physical gold from the bank or from my brokerage account or from my old 401k or my existing IRA. I need to lighten up on my paper investments. I need to get stuff out of this toxic financial system. I need to make sure that I have a significant portion of my assets in physical gold so that I'm more bulletproof. My situation is safer. And every single American right now, Dave, should be doing the same exact thing.
A reminder here that you are listening to The Gold Standard with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group, and today our topic is how to survive the banking meltdown. But our sub-theme is how gold and silver can actually protect your wealth. And Ken, for those who have never invested in gold or silver, how do you make that process easy and reliable, whether they're buying physical gold to store for themselves or they're moving investments over into a gold IRA? How do you help people do that?
Well, Dave, it's what we're good at. Everybody, I truly believe, is good at something. You just have to find out what you're good at and then put your time into it. And that's what that's your expertise. But there's 2 ways to own physical gold. If you have some liquid assets, non-qualified accounts like a savings account or a checking account, or you have maybe a CD at the bank that's not in an IRA or an annuity that you might want to get out of. You can take those liquid funds by check or bank wire, and you can convert those into gold and silver, and we deliver those precious metals right to you. That's one way to do a cash purchase.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing you can think about is if you have an old 401k or an old retirement account, or you have an existing IRA, where the majority of people's wealth is because they've worked for a long time and they've saved up a retirement account, you could roll over or transfer some of those retirement funds into a gold IRA. The gold and silver, which we invoice together and talk about together. It's a process that we do with our clients. We hold their hand through the whole process. But their gold and silver will be held at a depository until they decide to take it out. And the reason why that is when you take out your gold of an IRA, you have to pay taxes. So some people decide to do that. Some people say, well, I'm going to take all my gold out and I'll sell a little of my gold if I have to pay the tax, but I want my money out of the system and I want it out of the stock market. I want it out of the bank. So either one of those two ways, Dave, is how people can diversify and own physical gold and take some of their paper assets, run for cover, look for a little defense, hedge their bets, whatever it is that you want to say it is. And those are the ways that we help our clients diversify into gold coins, bars, and silver as well.
A topic today has been how to survive the banking meltdown. Ken, how would you summarize then the warning that you have given today?
Well, I would just say, in summary, the financial system, Dave, is terminally broken. The fractional banking system that we have is a sham. I would say that no matter how much money we print or how much money we spend or what kind of facade we put out there, it's not a solution. It's just a Band-Aid, and they're just kicking the can down the road. Who knows what our money's going to look like over the next few years? Who knows what kind of privacy we're going to have? Who knows what our money's going to be worth? You would have to be insane to keep all of your assets in a system that is so toxic as our present system. And it would make a lot of sense, Dave, for every single person right now who's listening to take some of their risk off the table, take some of their money out of the banking system, take some of their money out of the stock market and the bond market, and put it into the one asset that's been money, the only form of real money for thousands of years, and that's gold. I don't know how much more clearer I can be than that. The choice is right there, folks, and it's up to us to do something about what's going on versus being frozen, locked out of your money, seeing all of your money disappear, having the bank give you an IOU, and your money's gone. In my opinion, that's a pretty easy decision at this point.
Yeah, I'm very glad that I did not own any of the Credit Suisse Bank bonds. They would be worthless in my hands today. And that is going to bring us to the end of our time together today here on The Gold Standard with Ken Russo, brought to you by Midas Gold Group. A reminder, opinions given here are not intended to be specific to your investment strategy, but rather general information to give you a better understanding of investing in precious metals. For answers to your questions, call Midas Gold Group at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD, by the numbers 855-322-4653. And the website is MidasGoldGroup.com, M-I-D-A-S, MidasGoldGroup.com. And something I'm always happy to highlight and let you know about. The Midas Gold Group is proud to be America's #1 veteran-owned gold dealer, supporting veterans' causes with a portion of profits donated to the Wounded Warriors Project and the Semper Fi Fund. So your investment in your future is also an investment in the future of those who have bravely served the cause of freedom. Again, the number to call to speak directly with Midas Gold Group is 855-322-GOLD. Ken, thank you for your time again today.
It was nice to talk to you as always, Dave. Until next week.
I look forward to one of these times when we can talk about how rosy the economy is, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
It's going to take a while, Dave, and a lot of pain, but we'll get to the other side, but we'll see how much of a process that is, and you don't want to lose all your money during that process, and that's kind of what we're talking about.
Thank you, Ken. I'm Dave Deno, and I hope, friends, you will join us again next week at this same time for another edition of The Gold Standard.
The Gold Standard was brought to you by the Midas Gold Group.